Many small business owners are retiring, and we wish them well. But many small businesses provide goods and services to other small businesses. So the retirement of one small business owner may be a challenge for other companies. That's our topic today, and it's a relevant topic because the number of retirements is rising because the baby boomers are aging. The number of people who are like 65 years old has increased. For example, a decade ago we had 2.7 million 65-year-olds. Now we're at 3.8. So 2.7, 3.8, that's a big increase. Now they're not all retiring at age 65, some early, some later, but that is an indication that there are more retirements, maybe last year, maybe next year, but this is happening. And small businesses that are dependent on other small businesses need to be thinking about that as part of their succession planning. So succession planning is often, hey, what am I, the business owner, going to do? Or what happens if I lose one of my key people, maybe a technical person or a manager? But succession planning should also include those external business partners. I'm calling them business partners. They're not equity owners, but a manufacturing company may use a manufacturer's rep for sales, or a company may use another small business for IT support or for a specialized product that is delivered to the company. So there are a wide mesh of relationships between one business and another, and thinking through that is critically important. When you're dealing with a large corporation, continuity is taken for granted. So you're getting phone services from AT&T, and the local AT&T person, Mary, is retiring, but AT&T is going to take care of that and make sure that there's good business continuity. But if instead of dealing with Mary from AT&T, you're dealing with Fred of Fred's IT support, what are you going to do when Fred decides to retire? Here's a process that I recommend to businesses that they think about who has a challenge, which of their suppliers has a challenge. Those challenges, incidentally, could be no family member wants to take over, or there's a family member who wants to take over but is not really ready to, not competent to take over, or a business that has not groomed managers to be ready to take over. So think through those kinds of challenges as you look at who are all your business partners. And you might start that process of who are all your business partners by beginning at one end or the other of a production process or service delivery process. I like to start with sales. Who's important to you selling? Who is important to you marketing? Who is important to you delivering your good or service? Who is important to you in getting that produced? And maybe there's inventory, purchasing. So in addition to the whole stage of how the money flows in and out of a business, also think about the ongoing services that cross all functions of the business. Things like accounting, legal, human resources, and look for those small business partners that may be at risk. When you have identified them, it's time to start thinking who would be hard to replace. Not everybody's hard to replace. The big corporation, not hard to replace. Not going to be a problem. But even among sole practitioners, if your accountant retires, that may be sad, but there are accountants everywhere. Same thing true for things like HR support and IT support, unless it's a highly specialized area. Your entire list of business partners may be very long, but you may only have a handful who are at risk in terms of business continuity. Small handful whose retirement would present a challenge to you. What I recommend for those companies is have a conversation with these people. And say, hey, I know you're not retired right now, but we're all getting older. Have you thought about what you'll do when it's time for you to retire? Some of your business partners may not be too happy with that conversation. They may wonder if it is a prelude to terminating the relationship. So reassure them that you value the relationship and your focus is on business continuity rather than changing suppliers. And it's also good to think through the ways that succession might happen if the family or manager is not ready to step up and take over that business. You're not going to make the decision, but I think you'll have a better understanding of what to do if you know what are the options that that business partner has. Obviously, a family member or a manager is one option. Selling the business to another entity is another option. And sometimes there is a person doing the same kind of work in a different geography. So a person in Portland, where I live, might retire, but a counterpart in Seattle say, well, I can handle the Portland territory as well as the Seattle territory. Or it could be somebody here in the same city, but who does something kind of similar. So I've been doing one kind of IT support. I can learn how to get the people to do another kind of IT support. So that is similar businesses. And some companies, business owners, small businesses will sell to a large company that is trying to acquire a number of those. So those are the options. And it's not you, the business partner's choice, but rather that other business owner's choice, though you will have the option to decide whether to continue. And that leads us to the next step, which is this is a good opportunity when one of your business partner retires to think through what you want to do. It's not a heated time where emotions are running high, as in terminating a relationship would be, but you might want to think, gee, is this a function that I should bring in-house? Maybe yeah, maybe no. Or is there a better supplier of this service? And maybe I've just been putting up with poor quality results because of inertia, and I can trade up and get a better service provider. Those are the things to think through. In addition to that, if you're one of those people whose business is a provider of services or products to other small businesses, and you have a lot of lone eagle competitors, look for those who are retiring. There will probably be some of them who have not thought through their own succession planning, and when it is time for them to retire, you may be able to step in, make a lowball offer with seller financing, broaden your business, increase the size of your company at very low cost. So look for those opportunities. Succession planning is important for every business owner, both for the owner, him or herself, as well as key employees, and don't forget key business partners. I'm Dr. Bill Connerly. I hope you found this useful. Feel free to subscribe to that and leave a comment in the comment section if you have contributions to make to this discussion.